Again, I am at the Miami office here in sunny South Florida. This is the headquarters of the Americas for DAS Audio of America. The factory is based in Valencia, Spain. For those who are not familiar with the brand, we were founded in 1971. We're still family owned and operated, and we're still doing what we love most, which is audio, pro audio, portable install, professional touring systems, and we will always continue to do audio. We don't do headphones or consumer electronics. The only electronics we do are those that are complements to our pro audio products, so processors, amplification, etc. So starting off today's webinar, we're going to go over the Action 500 series. Excuse me. So the 500 series actually started out in 2008, and it ran from 2008 to 2012. And it started out as the MI series back then, and then it was converted into what's called the Action series, roughly in the same wheelhouse of power, handling, and capacity. Action series both came in active and passive, and it lasted from 2012 up until 2019. That is when we came out with the 500 series. And now the 500 series is positioned in between our Altea 400 series and our Altea 700 series. And then obviously the Action 500 series is slightly above it in price and performance as far as features. And then the Vantec series is above that. The key thing here is Action 500 series and the Vantec series are all wood series cabinets, subs, tops, all made of wood. Whereas the Altea series, 400 series, and 700 series, the only wood product is the subwoofer in the 718A. The 412, the 415, which are 12 or 15-inch tops, are polypropylene, basically a plastic cabinet. So just keep in mind, 500 series wood is good, just like the Vantec series. Like all of our products, 98% of our full catalog is made in-house in Valencia, Spain. Same team of engineers that work on our world famous aero systems are the same designers, engineers, and they're the same guys that are voicing and tuning the systems that we deploy in our Action, Altea, Vantec, Event. All of the products come from the same factory, same guys. 98% of the catalog is done in-house in Spain, and we distribute it globally since 1971. The 500 series is one of our FSC compliance cabinets. For those who are not familiar with, it's the Forest Stewardship Council. Well, that means we are responsibly resourcing the wood that we use in all of our cabinets. We are resourcing these responsibly, meaning that we leave as minimal of a footprint as we can by giving back and growing trees with the environment, using the goods recyclable if possible, and also making sure that we have minimal waste in our production. So we're not going in to forests of Brazil and tearing down forests for rare wood. We actually resource our woods responsibly. So it's a birch plywood finish. We use that same touring grade quality in our Actions 500 series, and we also use the Isoflex paint, which is going to be very durable. It resists scratches, bumps, and even it has a water resistancy to it. You'll see water actually bead on the body of the cabinet. We have some of the most efficient products in the price class, especially in the MI retail and pro touring realm, and meaning that compared to a lot of the other products on the market, we only draw about half, or if not a third, of the current or actual amperage that's required for the average speaker. So for example, if you look at one of our speakers in the Action series, the average is around 3 amps. The subwoofers will range from 5 to 6 amps, depending if it's a single or a double 18. And you compare that to a lot of the competition, if you're measuring correctly at 1/8 power, which is what some people are now doing we do at 1/3, which is actually, that's the correct measurement you should be using. You'll see some people measure it at 1/8. 1/8 is basically just plugged in. So we measure at 1/3, and you'll see 1/3 to 1/3, we're a lot more efficient than what you would find in the competition. So when you look at amperage or current draw, make sure you're looking at 1/3 power draw, not 1/8. We use very soft limiters. We don't use compressors on our system. So in a lot of pro products that you'll see that are powered, when you really push them to limit, sometimes you'll get an input clip, or you'll say limit on the light of the unit. You'll get almost a compression that'll kind of squeeze the sound, or actually sound like it's turning down the volume. We don't use compressors. We use an ultra soft limiter. It basically, you hit the ceiling of what the cabinet is capable of doing, but none of the electronics are actually going to turn you down. You hit that ceiling, you won't be able to go any louder than that, but it doesn't push you back down, because in most cases, a lot of times people don't realize they're limiting the cabinet. The cabinet goes into a limit mode and does compression, which squeezes your sound or pushes you back down. Sounds like you've decreased the volume. And what happens in most cases? The band, the DJ, the MC, or the engineer is usually turning things up. So we use an ultra soft limiter. You hit the ceiling, you do not go above that, but it will not squeeze or push you back down. As a result of that, with the protection of the crossovers and the ultra soft or ultra quiet limiters, we have a very clean, efficient sounding system. And that's something you have to go out and experience. So if you'd like to, make sure you go online and click the request a demo button on whatever product you're interested in. One thing you'll find about DAS Audio products is that it's extremely reliable. I've been in audio professional world for over 20 years, consulted for a lot of other companies, a lot of other electronic companies, and out of all the companies I've worked for in my history, my career, this is the most efficient and the most reliable electronics I've seen out on the market, in that we have less than a 1% failure rate and over 50,000 units sold, which is extremely low when it comes to electronics. And a lot of that is done because we do an in-house organic design. We're not buying bits and pieces and parts and components and cabinets and processing and this, that, and the other from a bunch of different other companies and then slamming them into one cabinet and sticking our logo on it. When we design our amplification, we try to make sure that matches the drivers that we're using and vice versa. We also make sure that is going to be in par with the cabinet size, shape, and material, so that we don't have any wasted watts, basically. And when you do things like that more efficiently and you're testing everything, we have a 10 points checking system that every cabinet, it goes through from the component level all the way to the completed driver included with the amplification. And that's all tested before it goes in the box and gets shipped out. As a result of that, we're now going to be launching an additional 3-year warranty on all of our powered models. So typically you have a 2-year guarantee. If you go online and register your product, you'll get an additional 3-year warranty. You even get a certificate that is transferable. So you can actually resell your product to another individual and let them know, hey, this has already been registered. You'll have a warranty of X amount of years left over on the warranty. That is eligible for any product that is currently under warranty that has not been improperly repaired or opened up improperly. So keep that in mind. And that is going to be on all of our series, from Action to all the way up to Aero. So what we did differently, here's some differences from previous series of the Action versus now the 500 series. So we have still the same family of products. We've got a single 8-inch, a single 12-inch, a single 15-inch. We've got the ultra low profile wedge monitor here. This is a very popular product, and that's why I included that in the cut sheets. Make sure you grab the handouts if you have not. We also have a double 15 full range. So these are all full range cabinets. This is a monitor that has a main or monitor switch, so you can actually get really flat EQing if you'd like. And all of the products that are full range have a rotatable horn. So if you're going to deploy them horizontally or you want to fly them, they do have all rigging points and they do have the ability to rotate the horn. You have a single 18 that is more compact. And you also have a single 18 that is a base horn. Now, that's a much larger cabinet, as you can see. You can almost even see the whole mouth of the port at the bottom. The way that cabinet is designed, it's designed to go deeper and throw further than your traditional smaller, compact single 18. And then we have the double 18 to match. All of these are standard 35 millimeter pole coupler adapters that can be used. We're using all wood enclosure. We redesigned the grill, and now the logo has been redesigned and also has the capability of the LED, which can be turned off and on. Now, when you go to the back of the unit, there's going to be a big difference now between the previous models of Action and this one. Obviously, you see now we've got an LCD screen, we've got an encoder, we have two analog knob with the inputs. So these are combo Neutrik jacks or Neutrik combo. These are authentic Neutrik connections. So you can stick a 1/4-inch cable or an XLR cable in either. It can be a microphone or a line level signal. And then we also have the 1/8 inch. So this is all a part of what we call the DOS control interface. And when you get into the LCD screen, you have 3 presets on the DOS control for the 500 series. And that is going to be live, dance, or monitor mode. We also have a high pass filter. And then obviously you have your gain knobs and more. The mixer here has the 2 balanced inputs with the micro line. And then you have the gain knobs here along with the mini jack. You can actually go from 1/8 inch to RCA or 1/8 to 1/8, whichever you prefer. And then you have an output here. Now the output gives you the ability to switch between channel 1 or 2, or you can leave it in the default, which is the middle, which is mix, meaning that you can actually use this as a 2-channel mixer, take that signal and then send it to another device. So let's say you had a singer-songwriter, a vocalist, someone's going to do something with just either a microphone and either a keyboard or a beat or a guitar or a drum machine. You can actually plug the mic in one channel, plug the instrument into the other channel, and then take that signal and feed it to the other speaker. We use dual mains voltage. That means you can go all the way from 110 or 115 volt up to 230 volts. So you can take this in and out of the country and just make sure you are using the proper fuse and make sure you have adequate power wherever you're going to be playing with the system. And you do have the ability to use a PowerCon connection on the subs. There is a PowerCon through that will let you jump from the subs to the tops. Every full range product except for the 8-inch has the dual pole mount. So that's basically your 12 and your 15. You have the ability to do a 0 degree, which is standard pole cup, or you have the angle which tilts down. It tilts down at 10 degrees. So biggest difference, everyone always asks, hey, I have this old Action 8A or I have this old model Action series 12-inch, 15-inch, and I'm thinking about the new one or I want to buy a new one. How will it match up? Here's going to be a really big difference between the 8A and the 508A. And aside from power being a slight difference, you obviously have a difference in dB level, SPL basically, and that's a result of using a different high frequency compression driver. Before it was just an M26, now it's an M34. And then the driver now, it's still an 8-inch driver, but we're on variation GV instead of the previous, which was B4. So you're going to have a little more headroom, better excursion on the low end, less distortion overall, but you're going to get a higher dB level when you compare the 2 units, old versus new. The 508A will get louder and give you more headroom. With the sub, the single 18 was really ultra compact. We gave it a little bit more space, a little bit more room, and we gave it a newer driver. So the new driver, the new transducer, gives you better excursion, less distortion. Like I say, again, more headroom, which gives you the ability to play louder and longer without any complications. Same thing with the Dual 18. We're using the same driver. So who are these products designed for, and how do you use them? So you can have a variety from small bands, corporate events, even houses of worship, mobile systems, as well as installation. It's a very flexible series because it does have eye-bolt rigging points on all of the cabinets, even the subs. And it also has the ability to do U brackets on the 12, the 15, and the 8-inch full range speaker as well. Because it's so compact and affordable, you can use it in a variety of events. So don't just think it's just a portable product. It can be installed, although primarily use is smaller corporate events, production companies, up to about 150 people. You can use one sub with 2 tops. You can go directly from the mixer or the console. You can go directly from your DJ mixer or your controller, for example. And we also have passive versions as well if you're interested in doing something passive. We do have amplification that matches perfectly with the subs and tops. But primarily, we're looking at the active series because that is the most popular these days. So as you increase the driver size and the SPL level, obviously you can increase the audience, and you can go from 100 people all the way up to 500 people, or even 800 to 1,000, depending on which system you're trying to deploy and basically how you're going to set up the number of cabinets. That's where you're going to need higher SPL. So again, like I say, it's a small lounge, club, even house of worship, and even some theaters have gone with the smaller boxes to do as fills, to help fill in the room and make sure you have good even coverage, because the 8 is a very, very flexible, compact product. And this is just showing you some of the additional setups. And the accessories here, host of accessories, as I stated before, rigging accessories if you wanted to actually have the brackets. We have wall mount brackets that allow you to adjust on angles. We have a variety of tripods and pole cups. In the US, the model numbers may vary a little bit. In the US, we call this a TSP. This is, excuse me, the TSP1 is a telescoping sub pole. We do call it the TRD6, which is a short static sub pole. These poles do have something called a ring lock, which helps you reduce the wiggle or movement that typically takes place a lot of times when you're constantly using the same box with the same pole and cup. You get some tolerance or some wiggle. The ring lock reduces and removes all of that. And we also have a dual pack, a double pack of tripods. That is the that's the TR tripod, TRP2 2-pack, actually. And transporting accessories like covers, we have that all available. So just make sure you reach out to us. You can email us, you can call us, and let us know what product you're interested in, and make sure you have the right accessories if you're not sure. So as I've stated before, a lot of people will ask, they have an older Action model and they're thinking about purchasing a new one. Hey, I have the old I have the old 118A. Now you're calling it the S118A. Although it's the same driver and same amplifier, they've made some minor differences in the tuning of the cabinet, especially with the crossover. So if you have an old 118A and you purchase a new S118A, make sure that you're going to use the crossover dial in the back. If you're not using an external processor, you're most likely using the crossover knob in the back of the product. If you're going to use that as your crossover from your sub to your tops, make sure that you're looking at the number and not the actual placement of the dial. And reason being, on the older models, if you were at 12 o'clock, that was 100 degrees. With the newer model, if you're at 12 o'clock, let's say you're at 80, sorry, 80 hertz, not degrees, pardon me. 100 hertz versus 80 hertz is going to give you a totally different sound between the two cabinets. Even though it's the same power, same driver, same physical cabinet, you're going to get a difference in tonality, you're going to get a difference in sound, and therefore you want to be very careful if you're going to mix and match old versus new models, which is why we do not recommend it, especially on the powered units. People ask all the time, are we still manufacturing them? We have ceased manufacturing the older models, except for when we have a specific demand or need. In some cases, we can reproduce older models. If someone needs a certain model manufactured, we can do that, but typically you won't find them being shipped from our factory. You may find some already in retail stores or already out in use with production companies or installs. Contact DAS Audio of America, and we can help you find one of the older models. We do have a very few limited models left of the old series of the Action still in our warehouse. So you can contact us first, and we'll let you know what we have available. And warranty, as I've already explained, the warranty extension is available for old and new Action series as long as you're already under an existing warranty timeline. You just need to go online and register the product. That is available now. We're going to make a big announcement on July the 1st with informing everyone that we've got this new great 5-year global warranty. So be on the lookout for that. Why we're always talking about powered, there's a multitude of reasons. Obviously, it's become more popular. It's become a little bit safer and a little bit easier for people who are using pro audio equipment to just use an active product because the amplification is already built in. The DSP, the processing is already built in. You've already got your protection. You've already got everything you would typically need, especially if you're looking at putting multiple inputs. You don't need to carry around an external mixer all the time. You can actually use the controls directly on the back of the cabinet, and you're always going to get the same sound consistently. You don't have to worry about whether some amps are going to enhance certain frequencies or not. You're going to get the same consistent sound, especially with the active product, as opposed to a passive one. If someone changes the amp or someone changes the processing, you get different sound. The DSP is very important. Although you do have onboard DSP in the units, you can use that for your crossover and your EQ and tuning of the units. But in many cases, if you're going to have a larger scale setup, you may want to use an external processor. It gives you better management and better control over your crossover. It gives you one access point so that you can have everything in the chain using or working with the same frequencies. It's a little bit more efficient, and it's also another level of protection. So that, in a nutshell, is the 500 series. Keep in mind, we have a host of controls and features that we've added to this versus the previous Action series. So make sure you reach out to us, check our videos out online, and let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out and tell us what you think, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you need. We're always listening to our customers and the audience, and we do appreciate the feedback. We thank you for attending. We thank you for watching and listening. Peace.